In mid-June this year, a classic European play will be premiered worldwide. Every 4 years, UEFA organizes a show like this. The main roles are still under suspicion from the audience, while the supporting roles are also kept secret by the organizers to ensure the best experience. Last night I was lucky enough to be invited to watch the rehearsal. The interesting thing is that they didn't tell me who would get which role, but from what I could observe, England, France, and Germany would most likely be the 3 main roles respectively: the fool, the strong, and the home team. The English team has a total value of about 1.41 billion euros, while this figure from Brazil is 927 million euros. But on the field, people do not know what color shirt the more expensive team wears. British people love their team very much, so they talk a lot about the home players. The fans of the Land of Fog always think that their team is very strong. It's just that because of some force, they didn't win the cup. And someone blamed Harry Kane before the match. They say that Harry Kane with empty DNA won't do anything for the England team. Kane is not recruiting this time. Let's see what many people talk about. England is considered a strong candidate for the Euro 2024 championship. That's true, but we need to reconsider after witnessing the performance of the Three Lions at dawn today. Even though the opponent is a very strong Brazil, no matter how strong they are, they still have to overcome because they are the team the most highly rated. The Three Lions attack played quite well and created many scoring opportunities, but what they lacked was someone capable of taking advantage of those situations. In the whole match, England launched 14 shots, but only 3 of them were on target. All positions from defender, midfielder, or striker have shot at least once but are still powerless to find a goal. Even many times in the match, they try their luck with long shots, but not only is it inaccurate, but it also shows a deadlock in attack. More than anyone else, it is the fans of the England team who miss Harry Kane the most. It must be said that the absence of the 30-year-old captain is a huge loss for the Three Lions. The Bayern Munich striker's injury was more severe than expected, forcing him to miss this match. When Kane is on the field, England's goal output will certainly improve. The person given the opportunity was Ollie Watkins, but the Aston Villa player's performance was quite lackluster throughout the 90 minutes of the match. Watkins only had 1 shot and it missed the target. At this point, people feel confused with Southgate's decision in not to give a chance to Ivan Toney, the Brentford striker. Even though he just returned from suspension, his form is quite good with 4 goals. Regardless, the 53-year-old teacher still trusts Watkins instead of Toney. Not only his attack, but his defense also had problems in this match. Occasionally, we see them become vulnerable, such as Harry Maguire losing the ball. If it weren't for the excellence of goalkeeper Jordan Pickford, the Three Lions almost had to pay the price. Brazil could have scored more goals if the players were not unlucky in decisive situations. There is clearly a lot of work to be done in England right now, especially in attack. Once Harry Kane has some problem and cannot play, the Three Lions become as frustrated as this morning, and that is something that should not happen to a team that is considered a strong candidate for the title. Regarding the German team, the pressure on Julian Nagelsmann is extremely large. The German team before this match was truly a giant construction site in progress, while Euro 2024 at home was approaching. They have no way back but to close their eyes and move towards the end of the tunnel, and fortunately, there were flashes of light in the recent victory over France. Before this match, the media always asked about the German team's attack, when Sane and Gnabry were suddenly harmless. Fortunately, they had an adjacent class that looked much better. Musiala, 110 million euros, Wits, 100 million euros, and Kai Havertz, 60 million euros according to Transfermarkt's valuation. There was once an opinion that the above trio would not be able to coordinate with each other, but Wits and Musiala proved that wrong when they connected extremely well. All 3 names above contributed to 2 goals last night against France. After nearly 1,000 days of absence, Toni Kroos marked an impressive return to the German national team. The presence of the star, born in 1990, has helped the midfield of the German team operate much smoother than before. In just the first 7 seconds of the match, Kroos had his first assist when he passed the ball to Wits to open the score for Germany. But we can't help but mention the player next to him, Robert Andrich. The reason Kroos can play football like that is thanks to the engine named Andrik. Robert Andrich promises to become an indispensable piece of the German team at the upcoming Euro. Nagelsmann, in recent interviews, has hinted that the German team needs more players to sacrifice, and Andrich is an example. Before the match against France, people were afraid that a scenario would happen that Mbappé would speed up, leaving Kimmich extremely slow behind, but that scenario probably won't happen. Rather, Mbappé was somewhat helpless against Kimmich and the German team's defense system. If you want to know more about Mbappé's helplessness in this match, look at the following parameters. The 25-year-old failed to dribble past Kimmich 3 times and only won one of the 4 duels between them. Mbappé lost the ball a total of 25 times throughout the 90 minutes, and 11 of those were when facing Kimmich. Of course, Kimmich was not very comfortable with the decision to be pushed back to the wing, but the way he performed in this match somehow reminded us of Kimmich burning in the right corridor during Euro 2016. With Kroos having returned to the German team, Kimmich seems unlikely to return to the middle anymore. The fact that Bayern's midfielder plays well on the right wing is an extremely good sign. England is also strong, but France is the #1 candidate for the championship. Perhaps because they are so highly rated, the French seem to be trying to hide their strength, or they are simply not as strong as we imagine. France doesn't need to be too serious in this friendly, but if they can't calculate their fall points in the tournament a few months later, that will be big trouble. Similar to England, the French team is also showing a certain decline in the latest match. Looking at the post-match statistics, it is not an exaggeration to say that Le Bleu had a much inferior position compared to the German team. Important indicators such as ball control rate, number of shots, number of dangerous opportunities created, France all lost. This is an alarming signal for coach Didier Deschamps' team if they want to think about winning their first Euro championship after 24 years of waiting. The most obvious point in France's loss was the deadlock in the attack. The team's brightest star, Kylian Mbappé, was completely controlled by Kimmich. The captain's blockade also caused the attack to become lifeless. During the whole match, France only had 2 shots on target, and neither of them was too dangerous for Ter Stegen. It can be said that Antoine Griezmann's injury is a big loss for Didier Deschamps because he lacks a player who can link the play between the midfielder and the strikers. Losing Griezmann means France loses a player who can hold the ball as well as be creative. Le Bleu's younger, stronger midfield was unable to win against the classy and experienced Toni Kroos. Are you wondering why I mentioned Kroos and not the German midfield? Because Kroos was the difference. The 34-year-old midfielder dominated the midfield. In this match, the defense also posed a big question mark when Deschamps decided to use Pavard and Upamecano instead of names with high performance in the Premier League like Saliba or Konate. It's also possible that the 55-year-old coach has his own tactical plans, but it's clearly not effective in this match. The combination of Pavard and Upamecano caused Samba's goal to always be on alert. It must be said that the blue shirt players performed below form in this match. From offense to defense, there is almost no one who stands out. This can be seen as proof that they are not really ready for 2 friendly matches this March. After the match, Deschamps also admitted his defeat. This loss is simply that we did not do well enough. Germany played better than us, especially in terms of determination. I have to accept responsibility for the team's loss, but we could have played better if Griezmann had been present in this match. The French team still has a friendly match with Chile on March 27th. This will be an opportunity for them to prove that this morning's defeat was just an accident, and it is not wrong when people think they are strong candidates for the upcoming Euro Championship. It can be said that if there are no unfortunate injuries, Euro 2024 will be the most balanced tournament in recent years. And so the role of captains will become even more important. Although it's a bit early, this is the time for us to have a preliminary look at the head coaches. Besides the Great Britain-Brazil war, the friendly match between Germany and France also attracted a lot of attention from fans. Indeed, the anticipation was rewarded when right from the first seconds, fans had to exclaim because of the extremely unexpected developments. In the end, Germany won convincingly with a score of 2-0, a perfect victory for both players and coaches. The biggest compliment, of course, must go to coach Julian Nagelsmann. Before the friendly match with France, the former Bayern captain had a series of adjustment tests, but all failed. In November alone, the German team lost both friendly matches against Turkey and Austria with scores of 2-3 and 0-2, respectively. In both matches, Coach Nagelsmann used very different personnel arrangements. In the defeat against Turkey, Nagelsmann used the 4-2-2 scheme along with the decision to play Kai Havertz at left back. In the match against Austria, the German strategist continued to use a different tactical scheme and continued to receive defeat. The problem mostly lies in the midfield, as Germany often allows opponents to dominate in this area, making it difficult to deploy play. This made Coach Nagelsmann realize he needed something to upgrade the midfield. So Toni Kroos was convinced to return to the national team despite announcing his retirement from international football. It was Coach Nagelsmann who had a great hand in convincing Kroos to return because the strategist knew what the real midfielder could bring to the team he was building. Returning to the 4-2-31 tactical diagram like when he was leading Bayern, Toni Kroos was used from the beginning, and it only took 7 seconds to prove that the former Bayern captain's decision was correct. Right in the delivery situation, Kroos controlled the ball calmly and then boldly passed the ball to Florian Wirtz to score. Witnessing Toni Kroos' impressive performance on his return, Coach Julian Nagelsmann shared, "Honestly, Kroos' performance was unbelievable. He is an extraordinary player with the ball. Kroos also left his mark in disputes in the duel. He is very gentle with everyone. This is a positive sign for us." It must be said that bringing Toni Kroos back will be a landmark decision for the German team at the Euro, where they will be the home team. As for the French team, their strength has remained intact for many years. The defeat in the friendly match with the German team does not say much. The most noticeable thing is that Fap does not play with the same high determination as his opponent. Deschamps said, "We simply didn't do well enough to win." The German team played an impressive match today. They did better than us, at least in their determination to play. The first person who deserves criticism after this failure is me. Furthermore, they also lack their pillar, Griezmann. It doesn't take this match for us to realize Griezmann's importance to the French team. These are definitely notes that the French team needs to overcome. For England, there is nothing to describe but disappointment. People criticize Southgate a lot, and after the defeat in the friendly match with Brazil, the same story was repeated. People saw the Three Lions team full of stars, but the whole match was seen as just a disjointed team. Southgate did not do a good job of connecting the playing styles of these individuals. Besides, Watkins, who replaced Harry Kane on the day, also seemed to be lost in attack, even though the Aston Villa striker is in very good form in the EPL. On social networks, many people have criticized Southgate. One person wrote, "Southgate is worse than I thought," along with countless similar opinions. 1 or 2 matches are fine, but fans have been criticizing the Three Lions team for many years. Perhaps England's current problem lies with Southgate himself. The major teams will have a second friendly match in the FIFA Day series in March before returning to the parent team, and this is considered the last opportunity for the team's young players to debut and compete. Who are they? England needs scoring options in the absence of Harry Kane. As mentioned earlier, on the replacement day, Watkins was completely lost in the Three Lions attack. Neither Phil Foden, Anthony Gordon, nor Marcus Rashford could create the necessary effectiveness. Changes are certainly needed to improve efficiency. It is the lack of coordination in attack that has caused this team's expected number of goals to be only 0.85 compared to 2.18 for the Brazilian team. In the upcoming friendly match with Belgium, it is possible that Ivan Toney will be used from the start, or Southgate still has the right to be called up additionally when Dominic Solanke is proving to be an extremely quality striker. In short, the Three Lions need to improve to avoid relying too much on Harry Kane's scoring ability. In midfield, one could see how out of place Jude Bellingham was throughout the match. Real's midfielder held the ball and made a breakthrough and tried to create opportunities for the team, but the effort of a single individual was not enough to change the outcome of the match. In the end, Bellingham was replaced because of signs of physical problems. In the next friendly match against Belgium, fans expect Southgate to test the talent of Kobbie Mainoo, a young midfielder who plays more maturely than his age. James Maddison is also expected to appear because of his ability to regulate gameplay. Conor Gallagher lacks creativity, and Declan Rice still tends to push the ball up rather than drop deep to coordinate the ball. When there are so many players with attacking tendencies, it is clear that a player like Maddison is essential for the England team. Just like the England team, the France team is also somewhat dependent on Griezmann's presence. A statistic shows that the Atletico Madrid midfielder has played 84 consecutive matches for Le Bleu over the past 7 years. During his series of matches, he always performed very impressively, giving up to 220 key passes to his teammates. He is also the person who passed the ball the most times on the French team with a total of 3,647 times. The problem in the next friendly match may be finding an effective way to play without Griezmann in the squad. If there is still a deadlock, it will be an extremely difficult problem when the Euro is very close. As for the German team, they probably played their best match since the 2022 World Cup. Of course, part of that was Nagelsmann's decisive adjustments. Toni Kroos is an important part of that. Perhaps now everything is gradually working and people hope that the Tanks will continue to promote what they showed in the friendly match with the French team. Every play's content will be kept secret until it is actually premiered. Just like in showbiz, there are exceptional stars who shine on stage even without needing too much rehearsal, and others need to have perfect runs to be able to confidently perform in public. Each person's own way of doing things is what surprises the audience, even if they have seen this play thousands of times before. To know more, we still have a few more rehearsals left. Hopefully, there will be some more predictions. For now, goodbye, and see you again on Commentator Anquan's channel.